Hi, this is Miss Wood, your math instructor for this fall semester. Welcome to Math 143 Online. I'm glad to have you. In this video, I'm going to deem it as a general overview to the course as well as to Blackboard. There will still be a lot of information that you'll need to go back and click on and open these documents for yourselves because I'm not going to read everything to you, but I do want to point out the highlights of the course. So I'm just going to start with all of the tabs over on the left-hand side. These buttons over here are designed to help you navigate easily through the course. The first one would be announcements. Every week I send out an announcement trying to tell you, everything that is due that week and what you should be doing to stay on top of the class. Right now you're not seeing an announcement. By the time, though, that you open the course, there will be an announcement for you to read through. Next tab down is the course syllabus. I'm not going to read the course syllabus to you, but this is where you would find information about what textbook do I need, how do I get in contact with Miss Wood, myself, how are you going to be graded, what are the resources available to you on campus, what calculator do you need, attendance policy, the list goes on. You definitely need to open that up. I'm going to pause for a moment and talk to you just briefly about calculators. You will find in the syllabus that it tells you that you don't really have to have anything fancy for the calculator. Those of you that maybe already have a TI 83, 83 plus, or 84, 84 plus, feel free to use that for the class. However, those of you that if you don't already have that calculator, don't feel that you need to go buy it. Those calculators are extremely expensive. We don't need anything. We don't need any of the capabilities that an $80 or $90 calculator would do for us. So the one that I recommend in the syllabus is called a TI-30 X2S. Relatively inexpensive. Usually at Target and Walmart you can find it for under $15 for sure, and by it being the start of the school year, most places generally I've seen them at Target as low as $8 and $9. So I know that you probably can hit a good deal for it. Like I said, it's the TI-30 X2S. It's outlined there in the syllabus for you. It's solar powered, so you don't even have to buy batteries. If you have another calculator and you're wondering if it will work, as long as you can convert from decimals to fractions, then it should work. Okay, that's an important button. That if you don't want to take my suggestion, at least find a calculator that can convert from decimals to fractions. That'll be helpful to you later on. All right, so with that said, I'm going to scoot on over to course information, the next tab down. You can see the textbook requirements. The next tab down is your in that folder is the schedule and my office hours. My office hours there, obviously. The tentative schedule, you want to print this off. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. You want to print this off and have it at your fingertips for the entire semester. I tried to color code it for you so that you'd be able to keep up with things. But all of the quizzes and labs that are due are always in yellow, and they're always due by midnight on that particular day. So the icebreaker assignment, for example, is going to be due by midnight on Wednesday, August 19th. Your first quiz would be on Wednesday, August 26th, and it would be due by midnight. I'll talk about where they are and how you can find them and submit them in just a few moments. There are some labs that are graded and others that are not. If you see a lab and it's not clearly highlighted and that sort of thing, and it has beside it, do not submit, then that is just one that's a lab you should be working on, and the material on there is going to help prepare you for the test and this quiz right here, but it is not something that is specifically graded. Okay, I tried to put all of our holidays in a purple color. All of your testing windows, I made those 3 days long, and those are always highlighted in green. And I'll talk more about testing in just a few moments. So I think that's all that I really need to talk about with that. So like I said, print that off so that you have that, like I said, at your fingertips. All right, so let's get back into Blackboard, and I'm going to go back to course information. Let's see if there's anything else in that folder. Yes. Next one down is testing and proctoring information. So there's two ways that you'll be testing depending on where you live. If you live within 1 hour of campus or within 50 miles, you'll be testing on campus at Coastal Carolina Community College. Where would be in the CE building. We call it the CE building. It's the Continuing Education building. It's the building closest to Smoothie King. The testing center itself is located upstairs in room 200. I'll fix this in Blackboard. It's located upstairs in 200. They are open Monday through Thursday, 7:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. and on Fridays they're open 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. So they have very flexible hours, and on top of that, like you saw on the tentative schedule, I'm giving you a 3-day testing window, so you have lots of opportunities within that 3 days. However, if you ever find that you need it available a day sooner to accommodate something that's going on in your life, definitely contact me and I'd be happy to make the test available to you sooner. Just keep me in the loop. For those of you that are long distance, and that means that you would have to travel more than an hour to get to campus, or you live more than 50 miles from campus, you qualify to have a proctor. This is where then you would need to click on this form right here, read through the requirements of what a proctor can be, and then you need to submit that proctor to me. So if you know that you already are fit this criteria, what I recommend is go ahead and start locating yourself a proctor. And like I said, open this up so you see all of the information about who is eligible to be a proctor. Go ahead and get on that, and so that you can submit that information to me ASAP. But otherwise, if you're local, like I said, within an hour or within 50 miles, you'll be testing right there on campus in our testing center. I'm going to go back to course information. MyMathLab, I sent you an email earlier and just said that your MyMathLab code is not required for this class, but those of you that did buy a new book, perhaps you have a code and you would like to use it. I have created a code for you, and so this is the code WOOD60885, and you are welcome to this document will tell you how to log into MyMathLab, get completely set up. Nothing in there is graded, but there are lots of pre-test, post-test, homework. The homework that I created is specifically tailored to the class. Some of the pre-test and post-test might cover information that we didn't need to cover, so the pre-test and post-test in there are not tailored to the class, but the homework is specifically tailored to our class. So it can give you some extra practice. Again, MyMathLab is not required. The last thing on course information would be assignment guidelines. I just created a quick little Word document there to talk through how to submit your assignments and what is expected and that sort of thing. So I'll let you click on that later. All right, next piece down is the attendance policy. My attendance policy, hopefully you would recognize, is very straightforward. Once you fail to turn in 3 assignments, whether it be a test, a quiz, or a lab, you're dropped from the course. There's more about the attendance policy on the syllabus, so I definitely encourage you to look more at that. Contact information. This is just a quick place to find my email address, my phone number, my office hours, also as well as my office. I'm in the Math and Science building, room 100L. Click on down to calendar. The calendar is set up to show you exactly when your quizzes are due. So if you prefer it in a calendar format, it will be there. But like I said before, I'll also send out weekly reminders. Student surveys, I don't have anything in here yet, but this is where you will, at the beginning of the semester, I will put the Pell Grant survey up if you need to fill that out, and then later on in the semester you will also be asked to fill out an evaluation on the course. So those will both be in that spot. All right, so now let's get back specifically to this course notes. Right now I have Unit 1 up. The course will be 4 units. Unit 1 is already up. I tried to devise all of the units like this. The first piece down is your equivalent measures handout. In the first unit, you're going to be converting from feet to miles, yards to meters, seconds to days, that sort of thing. So you're going to be doing lots of conversion, gallons to ounces, those kind of things. So we don't expect you to memorize any of that material. You'll be able to click right here and you'll have a Word document that you will be able to use whenever you're taking your quizzes, working on your homework and that sort of thing. When you take your test, I'll provide one for you, so you'll be good to go there. Hopefully everyone is listening to this video, but I've tried to make it very important that if you can't open these videos, figure out how to, because what I have done is that for each section in the course, I have created a blank set of notes, a solution key that's completely worked out, as well as a video that actually is me teaching you through that blank set of notes. So a lot of times I even talk through the video and I say I encourage you to pause it right here, work the next problem, and then resume the video. So make sure that you can get these videos. In the very beginning, when I first created my videos for this first unit, I had done them as .avi files. A few folks were having trouble with those. So moving forward, all of my videos are MP4 and WMV formats. So all of these AVI formats down here, if you can't open those, come up here and get the MP4s up at the top. But moving forward, all the videos are definitely in an MP4 format, and generally I always also did them in a WMV, so to try to combat and hit both formats there for you. So make sure that you can get those access. I think that you will find that these videos will hopefully cut out a lot of the guesswork whenever you're reading a textbook and trying to figure out what does this mean in terms of what's here in the notes and that sort of thing. I believe that you will find those videos to be extremely helpful, so I highly encourage those. Also in this folder for Unit 1, you'll find labs. The labs in this folder are not graded. So as you can see here, there's Lab 2A with the solutions, and then I also created a worked out solutions. Here's the Grandma Lab and the solutions, 3A and its solutions. So I tried to, like I said, provide you with lots of practice. Again, these aren't graded, but they are going to be so helpful in terms of preparing for the quizzes that are graded and the tests that are graded. So don't just say, oh, I don't need to do these. I highly encourage you to definitely work through them. Next piece down is homework solutions. You'll notice once you open up the notes in the notes folder, at the bottom of each set of notes there's a homework there's a set of homework. That would be, because those are the same set of notes that I give to my seated classes. So those homework problems that you see down at the bottom would be what I would assign to my seated section. And so what I've done is that I've actually gone through and handwritten out and made notes. I have worked out all of those homework problems step by step. So again, if you're struggling with a particular section, or you just want some extra practice and you need the extra practice, again, I can't say enough, work through some of those homework problems so you can make sure that you feel much more comfortable going into the quizzes and the tests. Anything graded, of course. And then lastly, once you get through all of Unit 1 material, to help you prepare for the Unit 1 test, I've created a Unit 1 actual document that would be blank, ready for you to work on, and then I have the solutions with, just an answer key, and then I also have the solutions completely worked out again as well. So every unit would basically be devised exactly like this, but right now, like I said, from the course notes, all that you see is Unit 1, but I'll be adding Unit 2, 3, and 4 very soon. Next tab down is graded assignments. I actually, at the top here, created another video to talk you through exactly how to submit an assignment. Take the time, click on this video. It's 5 minutes, but it shows you every click you need to make in order to submit your assignments. Your first assignment would be the icebreaker assignment. I'll let you read through it, but that video talks you through every step on how to complete this particular assignment. I'm going to go back to those graded assignments. Whenever you get to your Unit 1 graded assignments, you can see that these are the 3 quizzes that are due for Unit 1. I already have them up and available to you. You really can be self-paced through here, even though it has to be in by the due date, but you could work ahead if you like, for example. Something else I know I should also make a point of saying, I say this in the other video, but it's important to say here in case you happen not to open that video. I recommend that probably the easiest way to work through math is just to print off this quiz, for example. It's a Word document, print it off, and then hand write through it, just like if you were sitting in a class. And then, some folks will sit there and they'll try to type out their answers and stuff, but it's hard to show all your work. And when you show your work is when I can give you partial credit. So what I find, we're in this technological society. Many of us have smartphones that will take pictures for us. Take your phone, and also many phones will have scanner apps. Those are priceless as well. Take pictures however you want to do it. Either it being just a picture, or you're doing it with a scanner, and then that way I can see all of your work. You perhaps email it to yourself, and then you put it on your desktop, and then you can upload it into Blackboard for me. But anyway, those are nice ways for you to be able to show your work without having to create an extra step of typing in your work, because typing in our work can take up quite a bit of time, as you'll quickly see. So definitely take the time to either figure out how you want to do that with either, like I said, your camera phone, or with a scanner app. There's also a scanner, I believe, available to you in the library that you could after you finished your quiz, you could utilize that as well. If there's anything else I need to talk about in graded assignments. The only thing that you will have to do in discussion board as part of the icebreaker assignment is basically introduce yourself. And so in order to do that, you would just click on this Math 143 icebreaker introductions. I've already posted one for myself, so feel free to click on it and read it. And then whenever you want to actually do your part of the icebreaker, you'll just come up here and click on create a thread. And that way you will be then starting your icebreaker information. I believe that's all that I need to go through. Probably I could say one more thing. If you click on My Grades, that's where throughout the semester you'll be able to see a running tally of your grades. It also will show you whenever you have submitted assignments by having an exclamation point in your grade book there. I can click that. Since I'm not a student, it's not going to show you anything there, so I'll just go back to the home page. I believe that should cover it. If you find that you have additional questions, though, feel free to call me or email me, and I would be happy to get back to you and help point you in the right direction. So with that said, I'll look forward to working with you. Thanks a lot.